In this tutorial series, we'll be going through MetaSounds node by node for the Unreal Engine, learning how to go from beginner to complicated in game-driven sounds and procedurally generated music. So with generating in MetaSound, first thing you need to go to your content browser, right-click, go to Audio, and find MetaSound source. When you click on it, you've now created a new MetaSound. We're just going to leave it named MetaSound, new MetaSound source. With this, when you double click it, you can edit it. You can edit this like you would edit a material. The same way a material talks to your graphics card to send it instructions on how to visualize something. This is how you handle sending information to a sound card. This runs off a separate thread than your game thread, so it's often more performant to do MetaSounds. Also, you can do a ton more with it in real time. For the basics, the way a sound card works, it essentially can either create an oscillation, which will then oscillate back and forth to make a tone. And these are the basic ones that you probably heard about when learning about NES music, is a sine wave, triangle wave, a saw wave, and I'm just typing in the name of the wave, or a square wave. And you can also do, like audio cards can do, you can also do a sample. So we'll type in wave, and we get a wave player, which is essentially our wave sampling we can do. We'll start with this one because it's the most thing that people are probably familiar with. This looks a lot like spawning a normal sound. The only difference is within this one MetaSound, you can spawn probably an infinite number of these based off what your computer can handle. So the way a MetaSound works, you have inputs and outputs. What does the sound need to consider? What are we going to do when we're generating the sound? And what can we read about the sound while it's playing or when it's done? So the basic ones you get is essentially this is an event execution, when to start, and this is when it's done, and this is the audio itself. Now, when you see mono, just think it comes out of both speakers at the same volume. You're not doing any kind of multiple speaker mixing. And for the most part, that'll be what you do until you get to more complicated scenarios. So we're going to connect out mono. We're going to connect unfinished to unfinished, so it will know when the sound is done. We're going to connect the onPlay to play. This is essentially the same sound generation that you're used to in Unreal Engine, but it's doing it through a MetaSound instead. And for the wave asset, I've got a medium pop-up sound effect that I've already drug into the project. You can see it here. It's just a pop sound effect that comes from my quick asset library for making menus and things. I've just drug it in here so we'd have a sound effect to work with. And there you go. You can see it play. I want to note here on the right, you can see the volume of it. Pretty low. This would be 0 would be about loud. Things above 0 would be very loud, and things a little below 0 would kind of be where your general target is for sound, depending on what you're trying to do. So this is a UI sound. It's very subtle, very low. We can talk about how to change the volume and everything else. That will be in another video. But for now, that's how to generate a sound. Now, notice if I unconnect the onFinished, it will play forever. It might execute the sound one time because it said play the sound. That was all the instructions, but there is no instructions to finish the sound. That's how granular it gets. So now the sound is running forever. You can see here in the top left corner. So if I hit stop, that actually is what finishes the sound. So that's why we connect the onFinished, is this knows when this sound, when this wave is finished playing, And we can give that trigger to this trigger to say that this output is finished playing. But just so you know, this is nothing but trigger to trigger. We can essentially say that starting the sound will stop the sound, and that will work. See, nothing happens. It only takes just the amount of time to start the sound as it does to stop the sound. That's the kind of granular instructions you're working with. So now let's go ahead and utilize this idea. See, when it says warning, that's because the compiler doesn't like that the sound could play forever without being stopped in a traditional way. There's other ways to stop a MetaSound, just like destroying an asset, but that is the cleaner way to do it, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. But for now, let's check out the different waves. If you connect this to sync and then connect the audio to the out, you will hear a sine wave. And you can see comes out at a nice clean -5. You can see the sine wave move. You can see the shape of the wave with these visualizers on the corner. Very handy. These used to not be in earlier versions. We'll hook up the triangle and you'll see triangles. Now notice I didn't hook up the sync. That just makes sure it starts and stops when you want it to. It's not necessary. This is essentially an endless oscillation. Let's hook up the saw. You see that it looks like a sawtooth, and they all sound different. They all have a different property to their sound. We can scoot this down here so you can see it better. So now that we know all the different sounds we can create, one thing I want you to note too is that you can change the properties of these, not only the properties of the wave, but you can change the properties of the sound waves themselves. These are playing at a certain frequency. So you can change the frequency to something like 320. I can't remember if this is a real note or not. Probably not. It's probably not a tuned note. But you don't just control it by notes. That's later. We'll cover that when we cover MIDI assets. You control it just by the actual frequency that this sine wave will be oscillating, which is awesome because that means you now have full wave control inside of the Unreal Engine. You can see because the frequency is lower, the tone is lower. Now, because this is an endless asset, if I go back here to check out the MetaSound, I can test it in my content viewer, much like I can a normal sound effect. And you'll see it'll play until I tell it to stop. So the last thing we're going to cover here, there will be a more in-depth video about creating your own inputs and outputs. But over here on the left, you can see your inputs and your outputs. And we're going to create a new input. And we're going to call this finished. And you can see it's a float. We need to go down below to the properties and change it to a trigger. Remember, trigger is just like an execution connection. We're going to drag it onto the table. We're going to connect it to onFinished. Now, technically, we could call this externally, which will be covered in another video, and finish the output. But the compiler likes the fact that there is a technical way to execute the end of the sound. So if you want a perpetual wave like this, you need some sort of way to tell the compiler there is a way to turn it off if you wanted to. We're going to save it. We're going to come back here. And that is a tone generated through a MetaSound. What we're going to do now is just talk about some of the basic ways to interface with it. You can drag it into the level. It'll play indefinitely. We can delete it out of the level, and let's add it into an actor. I want you to see how to spawn it and manipulate it in blueprints, because that will be a primary way that you will interface these when you start dealing with more complex things like sending it inputs and reading its outputs while it's playing. So let's create a blueprint class, actor. We're just going to call it actor. Going to open this thing up, drag it where you can see it. Go to the event graph, and on event begin play, we're going to spawn sound 2D. Now you can do MetaSounds with MetaSounds, things you normally do with MetaSounds. We could add it as a component and things like that. But for now, we're just going to spawn it as a sound. And you can see we could spawn our medium pop sound effect like that. Or what we're going to actually do is spawn this MetaSound. So we're going to type in new for the new MetaSound source, select it. It will spawn like a normal sound. However, you have a lot more control over the sound once you save it as a variable. That will be covered in a different video. But now that we're spawning the sound, it will play like a normal sound. It'll play like we just dragged the MetaSound into the level. So I'm going to drag the actor in here, hit play to the empty level, and we're generating a tone. So that is how to create sound in MetaSounds.
This tutorial series is brought to you by my MetaSound Starter Pack. If you're looking for more complicated examples on how to utilize procedurally generated music and game-driven sounds inside of your projects, you might want to give it a look. More details in the description below. This is Space Dodo, where we talk about games and game development.